It's the Nice Guys podcast, and we're back with a little bit of a different look this time around.
Definitely.
Uh, if you're watching, I guess if you're listening as well, you might notice something is a little bit off.
Something happened to Noah.
Something happened to Noah. He might be dead. He might be taking he might have gone back to the Philippines to that resort. Either
Damn.
I don't know. I have no idea what happened to Noah, but in the meantime, we are going to have longtime recurring guest at this point. I mean, honorary, just nice guys co-host, fill in, Josiah Cook,
What's
uh,
up?
one of
I,
our one of our good friends, also co-podcaster from the Hoop Supply podcast.
I appreciate that shout out. I know it's hard to come by on the Nice Guys, but man, I gotta say, wherever Noah is, I hope he's doing well. Hope he's safe.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh God, I know, right? I worry about him, you know.
yeah, I know. I've been up all night, just worried, but I'm happy to be on the show, man. It's been a little bit, but I'm definitely it's next man up, you know.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, this is a good break for you because hey, you get to come on the show and sort of do your thing.
Go one on one with you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Based on the nature of today's conversation, I don't know if it'll be a one-on-one more so of like sort of how Noah was on the last episode. You sort of filling me in on NBA stuff. Um,
Yeah.
you are an expert NBA guy, expert NBA podcaster,
Oh, I
expert.
appreciate that.
And today we are just going to be talking a little bit of bubble playoffs.
Bubble. My
Uh,
God, it's been amazing.
it has been. Do you think so? I mean, I've definitely enjoyed it, but one of the things I wanted to bring up to you is, I mean, has it been as exciting as we thought it was going to be? I mean, especially after tonight, it seems kind of, you know, higher seed
Well,
beginning, a lot of sweeps, a lot of things like that. I mean,
there's
what's your take?
it's still the NBA playoffs. I mean, there's gonna be sweeps. There's gonna be LeBron winning in the playoffs. That's just a given. You know, he's never lost in the first round. We wouldn't want to see that, I don't think. So, you know,
Maybe.
you you give and you take, I guess, because I think having basketball back in a brand new format is just an exciting thing to see.
Yeah, it certainly is cool. But I don't know. I guess my tiny brain just had this fantasy of the playoffs being absolute insanity with
Uh-huh.
every series going 6-7 games and lots of
Hmm.
upsets and stuff like that. But it's been pretty chalk uh,
Yeah.
so far, especially in the Eastern Conference.
Hmm.
I think, I mean, it's really been nothing over there. That's where we're gonna get it started and just kind of breeze through some of these first round series. Maybe look ahead a little more than focus on what's currently going on.
Yeah. I just want to say you can't really like if you think about the bubble being like March Madness, it's never gonna be like any team can win, you know,
Right.
because it's still a 7 game series.
Mhm.
So it'll never be that. But I do respect what they've done. With
Right.
that, we can get into the series as well.
Yeah. So first series we're going to talk about is the only series in the Eastern Conference that is thus far not a sweep. And we are talking the first seeded Milwaukee Bucks, the favorites in the Eastern Conference.
Favorites? Yeah, I like the way you said that.
Right, because I mean that's not really. I mean they're not my favorite. They're certainly not Noah's favorite, as we learned on the last episode. But we are dumbasses, and I figure that the top seeded Bucks with Giannis would be favored by people who actually know what they're talking about.
Well, their start's been a little troubling. Obviously, they lost game one.
Right.
Uh, that wasn't a good game, and Chris Middleton really hasn't played well the whole series. We need to see more from this guy who's making like $40 million a year. I mean,
Really?
come on. Yeah, man signed a max.
I didn't
So
I didn't know that he was that like integral to the Bucks.
he's their second guy.
Really?
He's the AD to the LeBron, if you will.
That's a little bit that's kind of sad looking for the Bucks if that's your AD.
Well, it's definitely sad thinking about Giannis like possibly leaving the franchise.
Right,
They
right.
might need to make a move.
Right. Yeah, they need to get him some help. But despite that slip up in game one where everybody
Hmm.
was kind of like, "Oh, what's going on here?" I saw the score line and I was like, "Holy shit, Noah's right, and the Bucks are actually trash, and we're not going to get to see Giannis in the conference finals, much less the finals, and blah blah blah." But the last two games, they really have picked it up. Giannis specifically,
Hmm.
maybe not Chris Middleton. I forget his stats, but I was reading about him today. He's been pretty dog shit, despite them blowing out the Magic in the last two games, which is sort of what you would expect to see from them, what you want to see from them if you think that they're going to go far.
Hmm.
What's your takeaway overall from this series thus far?
Well, my first takeaway is holy shit. Nikola Vucevic is averaging 30 points.
I did not know that. That's pretty crazy.
Man is like the second best player in the series. He actually really is.
Yeah,
Uh, which he's probably going to play himself into another bag. Good for him. Otherwise, though, I mean, we talked about game one being kind of a fluke, kind of like Milwaukee waking up. I don't know. I don't see them losing again, though.
right,
I
right.
think I think Milwaukee's strong. I think they should be the favorites until uh, we see Middleton struggle against better teams,
Right.
and then I'll get worried.
Hmm. I was gonna say that I don't know if anybody's had this take yet, but I'll just go ahead and get it started. I'm gonna say that that the game one loss is excusable, and if they end up being the only higher seed to not sweep in the Eastern Conference, it's okay because the Bucks are the only team in the playoffs that's playing on the road right now. The
You're right.
they are they're playing in Orlando.
Wow.
Despite the fact that maybe they're not at the Magic's arena, they are in their hometown, in their backyard. So you got to factor that in.
I mean, there might be something to that. You never know.
Right.
And last season, we saw something very similar where the Magic beat the Raptors in game one. By the way, Raptors went on to win the championship, so
Right.
maybe looking good for the Bucks
Right.
in that category.
Right. Right. All right. So yeah, looking good for the Bucks. I think the Bucks will be fine. Uh, moving on, fourth seeded Pacers, fifth seeded Heat. Uh,
Hmm.
this looked like one of those series that maybe would be kind of interesting. I don't know, maybe not, just because it is the 4-5.
Hmm.
You expect it to be a little bit more interesting than this typically, but the Heat have just been running through them on the back of Goran
Jimmy,
Dragic.
Goran, yeah, Duncan Robinson's been amazing.
Right? Yeah.
It's been definitely a weird series, and part of that is because of Indiana being injured. Uh, they don't have Sabonis, probably one of their best players, uh, and Victor isn't 100%. And they just have guys that are in and out, and it's just kind of a weird series for them, I think.
Right. Yeah. They made a little run towards the end of the game today,
Hmm.
I guess, and for like a split second there, it kind of looked like maybe what they get a win. It's 2-1, and maybe they pick up some traction from there. But then the Heat just you know
Yeah.
blew them out, and I think basically ended the series right there in the fourth quarter of the game today.
Well, interesting stat today. The Heat hit more free throws than field goals.
Really,
Um, the weird stat,
that
but yeah,
that doesn't sound like an NBA that's possible in the NBA. That sounds like something that would happen in like the Big Ten or something.
Yeah, some dog shit basketball.
Yeah. Um, so I don't know. R.I.P. Pacers. Anything? Is there anything really to say?
I think Miami's legit, and they're gonna be matched up with the Bucks in round
Good.
two. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. I wouldn't want to play Miami. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, if the Bucks don't pick it up, and if we don't see the guys around Giannis pick it up, I don't know. I don't like that series at all for the Bucks.
You don't think you don't think Giannis is a guy that can just carry his team?
I think he is, but when you compare him to other people's teams, there aren't nearly enough. I'm not sure if I'm wording this right, but there aren't nearly enough guys. Um, I think his team lacks a true second superstar,
Right. Well,
and Lakers, Rockets, those guys have that. So when it has to be this one guy the whole series, I don't know. And, he hasn't really proven that he can do that against the best teams. So we'll have to see.
right. Yeah. Moving on, a series that at one point in time was near and dear to this podcast a week ago when we recorded. Think, oh, how things have changed.
Holy shit.
Uh, uh, talking, of course, about Celtics Sixers.
Ooh.
Celtics up 3-0 on the Sixers. Do you like Noah's claim that the winner of this series is going to go to the finals from the East?
I don't like that claim at all. He said it could go either way. Celtics, 76ers, that was the claim.
Yeah, it was sort of a coin flip type scenario, and it has not turned out that way, to say the least.
Yes. Honestly, the 76ers, well, obviously to me, I think they're the worst team left in the playoffs or left in the bubble. They're like legit really bad. Did you know they didn't practice today?
I did, yeah, I did see that. What's going on with that? That was one of my questions to you. Is like that I wanted to ask was who is to blame in this Sixers implosion? What the hell is going on? I don't understand.
I think it falls squarely on Brett Brown, the coach. Well, one, if you've watched the games, you've seen Embiid first quarter every single game. They've gone to Embiid first. They've played through Embiid, which is exactly what they need to do if they want to be in the series.
Mhm.
Uh, but then they just stop doing that. It's like they want to do that on purpose, and then they just go away from it.
Yeah, they stopped doing it and then sort of cease to have what looks like a working offense. Like
Mm-hmm.
they truly on offense look like they have no idea what they're doing. That they're just sort of somebody drive in and then whatever passes there. There is no cohesion whatsoever. It's sort of pathetic. Sorry, Noah, if you're listening, but it really is. I mean, really bad.
Do you think the Magic could win a series against them right now?
And I have no idea. I'll be honest with you. I'll go ahead and say yes, definitely, because
I think they could.
this is actually one of my favorite stats. I heard this earlier today. Vucevic from the Magic is averaging 30 points a game in the
Oh,
series against the Bucks. So if he can get that done, then yeah, definitely they could beat the Sixers. But yeah, I mean, this is sort of dark times for the Sixers, not just this series, but geez, I mean, it seems like this is the setting sun of a whole process era.
mm. Yeah. When Noah, I've been texting with him about the series. When he's saying the roster is shitty, there's no hope for it, man. They got to blow it up.
Yeah, the guy who was telling people how good the Sixers were when they literally had the worst season in NBA history. uh, yeah, if he's admitting defeat, then there's real problems in Philadelphia, which
Hmm.
sucks because honestly, they are sort of a fun team with some fun characters. Uh,
Yeah.
I like Embiid a lot. Simmons is cool. I hope he gets healthy, but I mean, who else? I mean, who are they paying on that team? Al Horford, right? Like he gets a lot. Like
Tobias Harris has a max.
it's like what do they need to get some new guys in there? It's
Well, I think that's the debate. Well, they definitely need a new coach for sure. They probably need a new GM. They need a whole new roster.
Yeah,
They need everything new. Just start the process over again, and we'll see you in 6 years.
except for Simmons, Embiid, and Matisse Thybulle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's even debate of whether Embiid and Simmons can play together and can even work together. So I don't know.
Yeah. What do you see for the Celtics going forward? I skip. This is skipping ahead, but just to speed up the process, the Raptors are going to beat the Nets, and the Celtics are going to beat the Sixers, and they're going to play in the next round. Uh, what do you see as the trajectory for this little part of the bracket?
Now, this is the real whoever wins the series makes it to the finals.
Okay, okay, I like.
Um, so I guess Noah could have been right. The Celtics are actually really good.
I would hate that. That would suck so hard because that was such a wild take, and if the Celtics end up going to the finals,
It totally was not in the spirit that he meant it. So he doesn't get any credit.
yeah,
um, I think the Raptor. Well, okay, we'll talk about the Raptors in just a second. The Celtics, they are legit.
go
They're
ahead.
just as legit.
No, go ahead and talk about the. We don't have to talk about the Raptors Nets series. Just let's
Okay.
let's do Celtics Raptors.
Well, I got some Raptor stuff.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, perfect. I like the Raptors. That's my squad in the bubble.
Yeah, so we've been talking about that, and someone mentioned to me the other day that Fred Van Vliet and Kyle Lowry might be a top three backcourt in the bubble right now. Might be a top three backcourt in the NBA right now.
Mhm. Yep.
And I was like, is that true? They got Harden, Westbrook, you got Dame, CJ, and then I don't know who would be next.
There's nobody else. Yeah, and I mean Dame CJ. We'll get to it later, but not gonna be around for that much longer. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. I mean, and also during the playoffs, the Raptors have the best net rating. They are the strongest team right now. They're not having any problems like the Bucks. Everyone's playing their role. I mean, God, they look amazing.
yeah, I mean, like if it's hard to it's really hard to have any takeaways, too many takeaways from this first round of games. But if you had to pick a team from the East right now, it's got to be the Raptors, just
Mm.
obliterating and completely dominating in every game. The Bucks had to slip up. The Heat let the Pacers back into the game today. Uh, the Sixers are total ass, so you can just write off the Celtics. The Raptors are crushing, and uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I like it. I like it.
Well, going back to the seeding games, they had the second hardest schedule and went 7-1.
Mhm. Yeah,
I mean, this team is just absolutely a machine.
beat the Bucks.
Yep. I mean, we need to talk about them actually being a legitimate contender to repeat the title. I
Yeah,
mean, they aren't getting the respect they deserve at all.
yeah, and I like that. I like that for the Raptors. I feel like no respect to Kawhi, but it sucks that for them that happened, and maybe that'll put a little chip on the old shoulder, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, they're good without him.
yeah, yeah, they're doing fine. Is that all you had on the Raptors?
That's all I have other than Raptors in four against the Nets.
It's a safe bet. I'm gonna agree with you. Um, and that'll, I guess, wrap up the Eastern Conference. Not much to say.
Yeah, that's not where any of the juice is right now in the bubble.
Right, exactly. Moving on to exactly where the juice is, out on out on the West Coast, Best Coast,
Mm-hmm.
aka Orlando, Florida, because it's all the same right now.
Damn.
Starting off, Lakers Blazers. So this game just wrapped up right before we were recording, and I feel like I was really, really excited after game one. I mean, that was like, I think I texted you that it was the first time that my blood started pumping about sports since like March or February or something. That was amazing to see the Blazers beat the Lakers like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the last two games, it really feels like, you know, LeBron is going Miami Heat meme.
Eddie's home.
Yeah, it's just he had, what did he have? He had 38 points tonight, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
Dame had 34, but he, you know, those two against each other. LeBron, if it's just them, going back and forth with points, LeBron can do all sorts of other stuff too. He's going to get the win every single time, and the Lakers just have more players than the Blazers. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
They do.
it looks tough for the Blazers from now on.
Yeah. Well, they got like 8 bench points tonight, I think, for the Blazers. That
Yeah,
is shitty.
yeah,
Okay, the Lakers did look good tonight, but they also looked extremely gassed in the fourth quarter. I mean, LeBron, there were moments where LeBron was just like standing on the other side of the floor. Obviously, he had a great game, but I'm still not sold that this is the team that we saw all season. I'm still not sold on that.
for
I
the
think for the Lakers, I think they struggle with whoever they get in the second round.
which would be
OKC or Houston.
OKC or Houston. Um, yeah, we can move on to that. Just to, I mean, I think the Lakers. You want to? Would you say Lakers in 5?
I will. I don't know. I think the Blazers might come out and win Game 4.
Okay.
Because the Lakers have a lot of issues. Defense is the only strong area on their whole team right now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But if their shooters come out cold again next game, I think it's very possible that the Blazers could take Game 4.
Mm-hmm. And I was looking at the stat. Anthony Davis had 29, so you get 38 and you get 29. You get 38 from LeBron, you get 29 from Anthony Davis, and they only won by 8. So
Mm-hmm.
if you can cut into that as the Blazers, and maybe CJ McCollum gets a little bit more involved, I could see that. Yeah, that's good.
The literal difference was KCP hitting those 3 shots in the third quarter. I mean, if he missed those shots in Game 1 and they lost.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing here. I don't know, but the Lakers. It's so weird to doubt LeBron, right?
Right.
Especially in the first round.
I mean, that's the thing in the back of my mind. It's like, come on, he's gonna fucking do his thing.
Right. Can we just give some credit to Melo real quick though?
Yes. Yeah, I love what he's doing. I forgot he was even on the Blazers. I'm not gonna lie. And then I started watching the bubble games, and I got really excited to see him doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's hitting some shots tonight. He's playing some defense too, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
He's not bad. He's not bad.
Yeah, very impressive. So moving on, a series which means a lot to you.
Yes, sir.
Rockets Thunder. Josiah, biggest Thunder fan that I know. Talk a little bit about the series and then maybe about the Thunder in general. 2-1 Rockets right now. Thunder got the win in OT earlier tonight. How did that make you feel, Josiah, personally?
Made me feel terrible because I was so nervous the whole entire game.
Yeah.
But it made me feel good they got the win.
But the win is nice. Yeah, right, yeah.
Dowd messaged me and said, now Chris Paul has accomplished more than Russell Westbrook ever did in the Thunder.
Much respect to Russell. You want to point out the.
Yes, he's right here. He's watching my back. That's Russell in a Thunder jersey.
And as we pointed out earlier, you and me, he's sort of helping out his old squad a little bit by sitting this one out.
Possibly. Maybe he's helping the Rockets though, because maybe he would have been really bad.
That's a good take. We should get going. The Rockets are better without Russell Westbrook.
I don't legitimately believe that, but I know people do say that.
Right. So what's the outlook for this series? What are you thinking?
Oh man. Okay, so it really depends on Game 4. I think the series is still wide open. if the Thunder come out, the problem with the Thunder in games 1 and 2 is that they weren't engaged on offense at all. Man, it was so terrible to watch. And this game definitely was a big difference. Guys were making cuts. Guys were doing things that they weren't doing before. So it depends what we get from them. It also depends on Westbrook when he comes back or if he comes back. I'm assuming if it goes 2-2, they're gonna get him. So he's gonna come back at some point. If he's settling for jump shots, then maybe it does work against the Rockets. But overall for the Thunder, I'm not expecting to win this series. I'm not expecting them to do anything crazy this year. They have the young talent, and I don't know if you've been watching this series very much, but I think this series will be known as the Lou Dort series for the way he's locking up James Harden.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he is absolutely locking up James Harden. I mean, I've never seen anyone do anything close to this. It's kind of amazing. So, Lou Dort, big plus for the Thunder. It's really too early to call with all the variables. It could go either way. I mean, it's going to 6, maybe 7. I think either way.
Okay, that's good to hear. I like that. This is a very intriguing series, and it's good to hear. Good to hear that the Thunder are looking up. I think it's very sad what's happened to them in recent years. I was thinking about before we did this, thinking about back, what was it, 10 years ago, the Thunder literally had Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. And it's just like, as a Thunder fan, I mean, what is that like? I
Oh
mean,
man.
it should have been, the last 10 years should have been wraps.
I'll tell you what. The worst part was in 2016 when they blew a 3-1 lead. Nothing will ever be worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
Losing Kevin Durant wasn't worse than that. It's been a lot of ups and downs. But they have 15 first-round picks. They have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They have these young guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the coach that they want. They have probably the best GM in the whole league, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking up. I think it's definitely looking up. The Paul George trade probably saved the franchise, in my opinion.
Really? Okay.
I think definitely, yeah. Dame hitting that shot and waving goodbye, that saved the franchise.
Yeah. So either way, do you think either of these teams can get past probably the Lakers in the next round?
I think Houston can definitely get past the Lakers.
Okay.
I think both teams will give them a good shot. But Houston, I would love to see the series, but Houston is just the most ridiculous basketball team ever assembled. They play the weirdest system, but it works. That you can get out rebounded and still lose or still win. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I don't like that series at all for the Lakers because I don't like their ability to. They play a lot of big guys, and they're not going to be able to keep up. I mean, they're not going to be able to keep up with the pace. They're not going to be able to keep up with the shooting. So I don't know. I don't like that for the Lakers at all.
Right. And Rockets, West Virginia's NBA team.
West Virginia's
NBA team, yeah, because of D'Antoni.
Oh.
Other than the Phoenix Suns, of course. But,
mm-hmm.
yeah, I like the Rockets. Shout out to what D'Antoni's doing. Moving on.
I'm curious of what you think of can Houston challenge the Lakers?
Yeah, because of the three ball.
Okay.
That's my take.
Okay.
I know, but seriously, I hadn't looked at it. The way of the rebounding stuff that you were explaining to me today, and that makes me really excited to maybe see a Rockets Lakers series. No offense, because they literally are two opposite teams, right? And if the rebounding doesn't matter, and LeBron and AD just bully everybody down low, if that doesn't matter, then what the hell else are the Lakers going to do? I mean, LeBron can go LeBron, but you sort of neutralize AD in a way, right? with that style.
Well, you need AD to be a guy that he's been very inconsistent at being, which is a good jump shooter.
Okay.
And you probably can't play Dwight as much as you've played him. You probably can't play JaVale as much as you've played him. You can't lean on these guys. And I mean, really, for the Rockets, it's hard to tell what strategy will even win against them. Because if you go small against them, they can't even shoot that well, the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
If you go big against them, they want you to do that, and they'll beat you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know how they get out of that series other than LeBron and AD just being LeBron and AD.
Right, exactly. But that's fair.
Yep. Or
That's,
Westbrook shoots the Rockets out of the series. I could see that too.
yeah. So moving on, this series is this. I need you to explain this series to me.
Okay.
So we're talking about the Nuggets Jazz.
Yes.
Nuggets are the 3 seed, Jazz are the 6 seed. Um, Nuggets took game one, or yeah, Nuggets took game
Mm-hmm.
one, and then the last two, the Jazz have whooped them,
Mm-hmm.
ran them out of the building in 2 straight games.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? Do you think that this has something to do with the Jazz, trying to prove themselves after being the reason that the NBA shut down in the first place? Did Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell sort of make up with each other in a big way, and that's led to increased chemistry? What the hell is going on?
Well, I'm glad you bring it up like this because I think this is the best series in the first round, for a bunch of reasons. But you highlighted a lot of them. They probably definitely did make up, and I mean Donovan Mitchell has been the sole reason why the Jazz have been that good.
Mm-hmm.
He's leading points per game in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's been one of the best players in the whole playoffs, and even in game one, he was right there with him. Jamal Murray kind of shot them out of the game, but by like hitting shots. But man, I don't know. This series is going to 7. I'm going to say it now. It's going to 7.
Despite the blowout wins by the Jazz.
Well, the Nuggets are going to bounce back. The thing the Nuggets can do is play so many guys, and the Jazz are going to get tired at some point. That's my take. So this next game, the Nuggets are going to come out. They're going to have the guys to play, and the Jazz have just like played 2 games in a row, super high emotions. I think it's going to go 2-2 on this next game.
Okay.
And then it's going to be back and forth from there.
Okay. Yeah, I love this series. This is the one to watch, I think, other than Rockets Thunder right now. Before we move on to another interesting series, who I was trying to think, who was the guy on the Nuggets that posted a picture of his dick on Instagram?
He didn't just post a picture; it was a video of him getting head.
Okay, well, who was that again?
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray. All right, that's right.
Yes.
Since we were talking about the Nuggets, and this is probably the first time the Nuggets have been brought up on this show. I wanted to mention that, and I forgot the guy's name, and that's got to factor in somehow. That's definitely a sabermetric. I don't know how. I don't know what it does for anybody, but
I
that's.
think she might be in the bubble now, by the way. It's possible that she's in the bubble.
That's a very good point. Yeah, we can figure out. Well, that's what's going to turn the series is whenever she gets there, it's game over for the Jazz.
Yeah, that throat is too strong.
Okay. All right. So the last series to get to, Clippers Mavericks. Luka Doncic is the real deal. I'm just now coming around to this because it's my first time watching him in real time. Wow, he's great, but
Definitely.
he might have a little issue. So what's going on with Luka?
Well, if you saw that injury last night, I'm not sure if you did, but he rolled the hell out of his ankle.
Right.
It looked terrible.
Yes.
We don't know if he's going to play the next game or not. I'm pretty sure. He tried to play on it again in that game, which I don't know how they let him do that or why they would let him do that. But I think regardless, the Clippers, they got to pounce on this team while they can.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
Mavericks have the best, they had during the regular season the best offense in history, numbers wise.
Yeah.
So you can't let a team like that stay in the series, especially with the killers they got over there. Paul George isn't going to be this bad for this long. Once they get out of this series, I think he's going to be better. So I don't know. I like the Clippers in 5, honestly. Either way.
5. Yeah. Okay. So, and is that with or without Luca, or is that contingent on Luca coming back?
I'm assuming Luka's probably not gonna. If he plays, he's definitely not gonna be 100%.
Right. Right.
So I think maybe the Mavericks would win an elimination game down 3-1, but that's the only game I could see them win it to push it to 6. So it's either 5 or 6, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that kind of sucks because I after that first game, I thought it was going to be a little bit more interesting than this, and then everything went downhill for the Mavericks.
We never know. Maybe Luka is okay, and he comes back, punches him in the mouth next game.
Yeah, he is. What is it? Slovenian.
Yes.
And yeah, and you know what they say about Slovenians.
Oh, I know what they say.
So he could be good.
He might be all right.
He might be all right. All right, so I guess that wraps up the little overview, catching everyone up to speed on what's going on in the bubble playoffs. I don't know what else to mention. I didn't bring this up to you beforehand because I wanted it to be quick fire.
Okay.
Finals prediction, go.
Ooh. As of right now, okay, the one I want to see, I'll say, is the Rockets and Raptors. But what I actually think will happen is a different story. I'm going to go Raptors because I think they're the team from the East.
Okay.
I got to go Clippers, realistically.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And I also would love to see that happen. Kawhi versus the Raptors. And and nothing against the guy. I just don't want to see LeBron in the finals again. Especially in a bubble year. Can we get
You wouldn't think it'd be good to see him win?
I'm done with him.
You're breaking up with him.
I don't care anymore. Yeah, no, I don't care anymore. It's like I don't know. But I think that would be a lot of fun.
I want to see the Rockets win the championship, though. That's the team I'm pulling for the most, other than the Thunder.
Or the Rockets. Yeah, the Rockets would be a lot of fun. What would be the best match? What would be the most fun matchup, maybe, for Rockets, and then who out of the East?
Bucks. You'd have Harden versus Giannis. There's beef there.
That would be crazy. Yeah. What's the beef, really?
Yeah, there's beef. Harden said that Giannis had no talent this year. He said that he was talentless.
That's a very interesting call from a guy who does what? He does like one move, right? That's his career, right?
Really good at that one move.
Really good at that one move, but I mean,
well, I see his argument being that Giannis was born with his talent, but saying he's talentless is stupid. Also, there've been many in-game scuffles and technical fouls. It's been kind of leading up, and if they matched up in the finals, oh man, you'd see some Draymond Green nut kicking in this one.
Okay, I'm rooting for that now. I'm actually rooting for the Bucks now, and until the Rockets get eliminated, I'm rooting for the Bucks because that sounds like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sure does.
All right, well, short and sweet this week. While Noah's wherever he's at,
wherever the fuck he is,
wherever he is, I don't know if he's coming back. Josiah, thanks for filling in.
Of course.
Everybody, thanks for listening. Hope we got you up to speed. And we'll be back next week, hopefully with Noah, with some more Nice Guys content. Until then, have a nice.